Hey, everybody, it's another Playful Humans podcast. I'm your host, Mike Montague, and my guest this week is a dance instructor. When in doubt, dance it out at 567broadway.com. And he's encouraging people to dance. I'm encouraging people to play. You can check out Playful Humans at playfulhumans.com. You can also subscribe to this podcast anywhere you listen to podcasts, on YouTube, whatever. Hit it, give us a play. Suggestions for future guests, any of that good stuff. But we're going to talk about how you can get more engaged and find some fun and flow and fulfillment in your life, and find out how Joseph Corella is playing for a living. Here we go. I like the tiny dance. All right, there's a few ways that we like to start with the good energy. The first one is the theme song there, Joseph. I appreciate you dancing it out, although I feel I was a little intimidated that I'm sure you have better moves than I do.
Oh no, I was loving this. I think this is
I like that.
This is great.
It's good for Zooms for sure. Yeah. But we also like to start with the joke of the week. The joke of the week this week is brought to you by dried grapes. I'm raising awareness for dried grapes. Okay. What do you call the best salesperson at a crematorium?
Oh God, I do not know.
He would be the top earner.
Okay. He'll be here all day.
I still haven't gotten the drum beat yet. I gotta figure that out. So tell us a little bit about 567 Broadway and what you've been up to lately.
Well, first of all, thank you, Mike, for having me on. And I'm excited I love the name of the show, Playful Humans, which is exactly what I do. And I created a dance fitness class, and I have a workout video. I do live stream classes. It's called 567 Broadway, and it's beyond 567 Broadway. I do have 567 Hollywood, 567 Pop, but I believe in the power of dancing it out and having fun. And really, this is created for adults, because I believe adults should have fun as well. And I don't think that there's sometimes enough opportunities. But specifically with 567 Broadway, which is my main workout, it's just dance fitness for everyone. I have people from 18 to 75. And we're dancing to Broadway music, and we put on workout costumes, and it's just fun. It's fun to get creative. I danced since I was a kid. I've worked professionally on Broadway, national tours in Vegas, live in Los Angeles now. And I believe in connecting people to performance, no matter if you dance at all or if you don't. Like, everybody should have the opportunity no matter what. And you can do it from your home, because that's basically what I've been doing since I was a kid. So I really believe in that.
Yeah, well, I think there's so much to unpack there. And I think our stuff is very well aligned here, because I think there are different levels of dance. There are obviously like professionals who work and do it for a living, or people that really like try hard at it to work out, and then people lose their way with it. So when I talk about play, no matter what it is, a sport, a dance, a board game, or whatever, like if you're taking Monopoly too seriously and you're flipping the board and cursing out your family, that's not the point of the game, right?
Right.
And I feel like dance has so many variations of that too, that we all kind of awkwardly dance as kids. It's something in our human nature to move to beat, and there's community aspects to it. But then when you get to teenage years, you start worrying about how you look when you're dancing and impressing other people with it. And I feel like that's where a lot of people lose their way. So what advice would you give for adults about finding the playful side of dance again?
I mean, there's so many great things that you said in that. I know for me, I really just try to teach from my experience and what I've learned. And I started dance when I was a kid, and around 7. And yeah, it wasn't easy. But my heart, I think that's the thing. My heart told me I needed to dance, and I didn't. And trust me, like you said, once you get, into your teen years, and you'd be growing up can be a little difficult with what opinions and how you can get bullied. And for sure that happened for me, but I never let go of my love of what I do. And I'm so glad I did that. And that's why I really encourage people to listen to your heart, follow that, and it will lead you in the right direction. But I also have learned movement and connecting to music will really help you and being creative and being playful. Being playful is being creative. And when you do that and when you tap into that, it helps you find more of yourself, and it also helps you get to the answers that you need in your life.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's really good also just for the human body. It's good you're
Yeah,
getting the right emotions
totally.
going and endorphins, but physical activity. And I love that you mentioned older ages too, because I think, I always talk about with play, like at what age should you stop playing? Everybody says kids should get outside and play, but when would you say, oh, no, you shouldn't do that anymore, right? Like we need to remind at
Yeah.
middle age, at 50, but then especially as you get older. And I love that you mentioned, people in their 70s and up moving any type of your body, or flexing your joints and building muscle, and
Yeah.
staving off everything from Alzheimer's to heart disease and other
Hmm.
stuff just by moving a few minutes a day. And doing that in a fun, playful way seems like it should be a no-brainer in our society, but it's not really positioned that way. What lessons have you learned for even older people
Yeah. I mean,
rediscovering dance?
that is, I mean, there's so many layers to the benefits, the health benefits of movement. I like to say movement because when you say dance, it can be so terrifying to certain people. And I like, so I say movement. And there's so many health benefits. And that is obviously, it is taking care of your body and your mind. And I have seen people come into my class that are older, and they, I really, I try to create a safe space for everyone. And so it's nice when people come in that are just like, well, I heard about your class, I'm going to give it a try. And you see them come to life more, and also how it does obviously help them in so many different ways. And that's the main thing. That's why I always say, like, when in doubt, dance it out, because it is going to help you in 50 million ways. And, I could talk for hours about all the different layers. But I think it's really just encouraging people to get up, try something new. That's another thing too. I think
Yeah.
it's try something. It can be scary, and especially even with dance, it is a discipline. I'm not gonna sit here and be like, yeah, it's like there's things that come into your mind. Oh, especially when you're dancing in front of a mirror, when you're in a class in person, you see yourself, you go through all these different emotions, and like, but you need to go through that. We're humans. Life is meant to have experiences, and we're meant to grow, but it does take us stepping forward. And I know for me, dance has been a great way to help get me out of my shell, because I am kind of an
Yeah.
introvert still. I still require, I have to admit, I still require a lot of like downtime and by myself time, because I can be really interactive, but then I also need to be by myself. But dance is for sure has helped me get outside of myself and take care of myself in many different ways.
Well, I think that's really interesting because I found play and other things that we talk about on this show a lot to be very similar to that. I always equate public speaking that way for me, is that
Mm,
I think it's actually an introverted activity. I'm upstage by myself, or I'm practicing and rehearsing all of this stuff by myself. And then the extroverted part of that is when I go do it in front of other people, but it's usually a very small part of that. And if I really liked the people, I would be in the crowd, not on the stage. Like I get to separate
yeah.
myself with a little bit of wall of safety. And I could see where dance could be the same way, right? When you're practicing and doing it for yourself, or it's like a safe choreographed environment, you're not actually putting yourself out there with other people in a spontaneous or like overstimulated way where it would, cause you more trouble as an introvert. But
Yeah.
that's what I wanted to go back and ask you about, really, is that safe space and how you do that, because I found that um I've seen, baggage in myself. So I'm a straight white guy, and those three things kind of don't necessarily lead towards dancing, right?
I mean, it's just,
In
it's
stereotypical things,
stereotypical.
you
Yeah.
you don't think those things were. So I've always kind of come at it from a playful space, and it's
Love it.
like it's easier for me to be funny and do, ride the bull, than it is to actually try a TikTok dance move that's more complicated, or takes any sort of, rhythm or balance to do. So that for me was fun, but I had a ton of fun doing ballroom dancing lessons and being in a place where I could practice and learn and make mistakes or laugh with my partner and my wife
Mhm.
and stuff. And I found that to be an interesting environment because it wasn't like a club in front of a whole bunch of people, or trying to impress people at a school dance, or something
Mhm.
where there's a lot more um pressure on that. So I guess my question for you here is two things to respond to. One, about the stereotypes and things that you see around it, and then how you actually create the safe space, because I think people that want to dance still have that hesitation of like, how, and don't I have to look awkward at the beginning and stuff like that.
Yeah, I mean, the thing that I've learned from my life is at a young age, I knew I loved the arts. Now, I grew up in Phoenix, Arizona. I'm a Mexican American. I went to a private school, but that's as I've been doing more podcasts recently, and I was reminded of how in first grade I wound up doing a musical program that my private school had. It was after school. It was like only like five of us, and let me tell you, this private school was small, so like 10 people in like first grade, and that was like the only class for first grade.
Yeah.
And but it really introduced me to the arts, which helped me, um I don't know, again, I can just say like it helped me connect to myself. And the thing that I've learned is if I listen to my heart and follow that and push away all the other gunk of like, well, this person says you shouldn't do this and this, and society says this, but my heart says I should do this. Well, then if your heart's saying do it, then do it. And and like you said, being playful, I've learned too, especially during this pandemic, I think it's challenged us, all of us, in different ways to look inside and to try new things, because we've had to really break habits as we've been
Yeah.
stuck, and get new amazing habits. But it's not always easy. But it's try new things, see what works for you. Like you did ballroom. I think that's amazing. I think that's great. Some people hold on to the stereotypes of, well, I'm a straight man. I'm not allowed to dance. And luckily things I think are shifting and changing now, which is nice to see. But when I was dancing when I was a kid, I was the I was the only male dancer. But
Right.
there's, I think, just most importantly, do what is right for you. Try. I know it's not, and I'm not going to say it's going to be easy. I don't want to disappoint anyone when they actually go and then they're like, this isn't easy. Well, if it was, it necessarily shouldn't be easy. However, there's other things that will lead you to the right thing. You'll try something and then maybe you'll be like, that isn't for me, but it opened another door and pushed you in the right direction to take care of yourself, because all these things are taking care of yourself. But as we've learned as humans, we can't just push a button and suddenly be, yay, like everything's fine.
Yeah.
Life does take us to work on it to grow and become who we should become.
Well, I think that's fun. One of the fun things about it, one thing that makes it something that is sustainable and something you can play with, right? If it was
Yeah.
too easy and you could just, learn the 6 Macarena steps or whatever, and you've mastered dance, like that's not challenging. That's not fun. It gets boring pretty fast. But dance is one of those things where there's always another level. And so you
Totally.
can change levels and change styles and change music and keep it interesting for a long period of time. And that's what I think is so fun about it is, when I'm learning salsa versus a tango or something, you're like, whoa, I have to start over. This is totally
Yeah.
different a little bit here. And
Yeah.
so it's really fun. And then there is always just another way to play with it. So before we hit record, we started talking about TikTok and stuff a little bit. And I found that like these sort of dance crazes or dance moves are easy for people because they feel like, oh, I can learn and practice how to do that one thing,
Yeah.
which I think is great. And maybe, you can do a 30-second, 1-minute TikTok or something. But if you actually try to go to a wedding and dance, or, out to a club or party, that's a little different. You can't just sit there and do the mashed potato for an hour. You're going to have to change it up a little bit. So
Yeah.
how have you seen kind of people experiment with that? Because I think there are pluses and minuses it helps get some people to do anything with dance and learn some movements and the kind of basics, but also it can kind of be a trap of you have to be able to floss in order to, be cool on the dance floor these days.
Well, like we were saying before, is like TikTok has become, it's like it is the new dance craze for the next generation and beyond. And I love it for, for every type of person. Every type of person wants to like do the new coolest dance, which I really love. And at the same time too, again, it's always just keeping your love of it. It's not, I think because of social media and because of all these things, it can become really competitive. Everything becomes, well, I got to be. And I think I have tried as an artist myself, because everybody is, that platform is a really creative platform. People are creating scenes, or they're using it to get a message out of some way. I know my husband and I with TikTok randomly, because I randomly started it during the pandemic, because being stuck at home, I was like, well, I might as well just, I was like, another platform, great.
Yeah,
Like, here
right.
we go. But we started it, and I grew up in the dance competition world. So like I know that, like, dance moms, like, I know that world. And so randomly, we weren't even thinking of anything. We just were like, let's just do dance competition entrances. Like, let's make up a dance competition entrance. And then I was like, I should film this. I think this would be fun. And then I filmed it, put it on TikTok and put it on Facebook. It went viral, which was so weird, because here we are acting like
Hmm.
12-year-olds, like coming out like contestant number. And we were just being creative and having fun. And it wound up becoming its own thing. Now that's basically what my TikTok is. However, the thing that I love is it is creative, create. But I think I think we're all gonna have to work on just creating, and for the sake of wanting to put good stuff out in the world, not being like, well, now I need to get to 2 million followers on TikTok. You see a
Right.
lot of that. And also too, because I believe in the arts, I think we really need to respect the art form, whether that be acting or dancing or singing. Like, it does take work. If you're going to do it professionally, we should have standards for these. And
Yeah.
when creating, when you watch a movie, you want to see an actor that is working really, really hard on their art form and craft, not because they have 5 million followers. I have a
Yeah,
lot of
well, I think
opinions.
there's
Sorry.
no, I think that's great. And that's where I was going to go next, is because I think, again, this is another art form where there is a lot of levels. So, if you're doing it for fun and you're doing the dance challenge,
Yeah.
just for yourself and to make your family laugh and stuff, that's a different thing. And that's fun and playful. And then like you said, if you're getting paid to dance on Broadway or in a music video or something, you need a different level of commitment
Yeah.
to that. So I'm wondering, did you ever have a real job? When did you realize that you could do this professionally? And how was that shift for you? Did you ever like lose your passion on it and get burned out and be like, well, I'm taking this too serious? Because I,
Yeah.
I find that a lot with professionals like you and I that do these kind of
Yeah.
things.
I mean, as a performer, and you strive to have that main job, the stability is hard. I lived in New York, and I was in a Broadway show, and then the Broadway show closed, and then you go out on tour, and so your jobs continue to shift and fluctuate. And then I would have what you call like survival jobs. However, you were working so hard, and I used to, the survival jobs that I had, which I really loved, working at spas. So like, I worked at the spa at the Ritz-Carlton, which I learned
Hmm.
a lot about business there, which I love, because
Yeah.
their business strategy of how they do things, and I love business. And then I worked at the spa at the Mandarin Oriental Hotel in Columbus Circle, and I learned a lot through that brand and that hotel. But I think, yeah, you kind of just, you have to go with the flow, but you do work. In New York City alone was really difficult and really hard. But yeah, it fluctuates all over the place. And now I own my own company, which, and so like, managing all of that and getting the message out for that and creating for that. And it's just, anything worth having is going to take some work. And, I think performers, you really have to love what you do in order to do it. I always say that, because in New York
Hmm.
City, if you don't love performing, that city is going to chew you up and spit you out. Los Angeles is a little different, because it's like 75 degrees outside, and you're like,
Yeah.
well, maybe. And it's like, let's go get coffee and lunch. When you're in New York City and it is 10 degrees outside, if you don't love it, and and you're living in a shoebox that costs a lot of money, if you don't love what you do, it is not going to work out at all. So I
Wow.
always, encourage any performers, if you truly love it, do whatever it takes to make that happen. And if you don't let it make you, don't do it, let it make you jaded, and you're sticking to something for the wrong reasons.
Yeah, I think that's so great. And I love what you said there about New York. That makes a lot of sense. And I think I've always kind of enjoyed the Midwest for me because you can be a bigger fish in a smaller pond. And
Mm.
like you said, you can kind of, take it slow or decide on what your lifestyle type business, would be. Am I doing this,
Yeah.
weekend shows and stuff and it's fun and I have another career, or am I doing this full time, or owning my own business and trying to make my own voice and reputation? I think that kind of stuff is a lot more interesting. So tell me more about 567 Broadway. You can find them 567broadway.com. I keep wanting to put the 8 on there.
Which is good because you're like,
Yeah.
yeah, the Broadway finishes the 8, that's the whole thing. But
Yeah.
I get it.
Yeah, so it's hard for me to say on the podcast, but we have given it plenty of attention, so you can find it. It's in the show notes as well. Tell me, how you settled in on this. What did you think the magic was, and what clicked to make this work for you
Yeah, I mean, I
and your
really love
clients, really?
the topic of like the love of something really, and I think that's where 567 Broadway was created, because I was performing before I started it. I was performing. I did a musical in Vegas. This is right before, and I just wasn't happy. I wasn't happy. I thought this job was going to be everything to me. Like I was like, yay, and
Mhm.
it was. And I wouldn't change it for the world, but I wasn't happy anymore. And I did another. I worked on Dance Moms prior, and a great experience. But I came off of that like, gosh darn it. And so I was like, I want to be fulfilled. And so I was like, universe, I'm not feeling very well about the choices I'm making as a performer. I think this is the right direction. And I said, whatever you put before me, I'm going to do. Like whatever door opens, let's go through it. And teaching came into play, teaching adults, which was something I had never thought of prior. But when I started doing it, I was like, I love this. I love connecting to adults. I love being vulnerable in a way that is different than when I'm on stage, connecting to people, talking, using dance as a way to communicate, along with telling my story whenever it feels right. And then slowly but surely it started evolving, and then I created 567 Broadway, and it's been a journey. I've been doing this for about 8 years. And I remember class started with 2 people, but I committed to it. For me, was like, I have to admit, I'm a pretty like, when I want to do it, I'm going to do it. I guess that's my commitment
Right.
message, like follow your
Yeah.
heart. My heart was telling me to do it. So I was like, okay, well, let's do this. And slowly but surely it really grew, and it really became something, um, I hate to say it, like unique in LA, but
Yeah.
there's a misconception in my opinion of fitness, especially fitness in Los Angeles, where sometimes there's not a safe space for people. And it's like people like want to work out before they go, go and work
Yeah.
out.
Go to
But
the workout. Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
gonna stick to my side of the street here. But I think the thing is that it evolves creatively and naturally to the group, to the community that it wanted to be in. And I listen to it, and I just keep continuing to say, what do you want this universe? What do you want this to be? And I continue to put my best foot forward with it. But that's really the creation. I made a workout video, and that
Yeah.
was a whole nother journey, which took years to, who would have thought? I thought it was going to be easy breezy. It was not, but I'm really glad I did. And I've gotten messages from people around the world about that. I do live stream classes now because of the pandemic. Another thing
Yeah.
where it said I thought I was going to go right, and then I was like, got to go left, and I was, and I continue just to do it and learn and try. I'm not going to pretend I'm like, yay, everything's fine, like, yay, this is
Right. Yeah.
easy,
Yeah. We're
like
cruising. Yeah.
I'm going to go left, that's fine. It's like sometimes it's can be really stressful, but overall I try and listen to what the universe wants me to do and go with that in my heart.
I hear you, and I love all of that. I think that's the right way to approach it. I've had to be very careful with Playful Humans here so far in the last year to like not push it. There's so much outside pressure to like, right? Like
Mhm.
people are asking, what are the 7 steps to have more play as an adult? And you're like, well, that's kind of not the point. Like if I give you the steps, then I'm just doing it for you, and you're creating a job out of it, and that's a task list. It's not play. Like I want you
Yeah.
to go and figure it out and try some things and play and see what happens. And I love what you said about the misconception sometimes, right? Like when my wife wants us to clean the house before we have the carpet cleaners come in. It's like, what? Why am I vacuuming before he vacuums? What? Uh,
Totally.
but there is some of that in fitness and workout and dance and stuff too. It's like, oh, well, I need to try this in the mirror enough so that I feel comfortable to do it in front of other people. And I get all that, but I love what you're doing and following your heart and finding the audience, and especially I think with the adults too, that there are enough dance classes and other things for kids that that's kind of covered, and this is where people need help. They need this inspiration. They need good feelings. They need good vibes. We all need to be healthier and move our bodies. And so I think you're onto something there, and congratulations with it. That's really cool. Do you have an end game or a bucket list or anything like left that I know you're going to be dancing for the rest of your life, but do you have any other like big benchmarks or dreams?
I mean, I guess sort of, I not, at this point in my life, I know I keep saying it, but like I'm following my heart and I'm doing what I should be doing. And I've learned if I plan a little too much, sometimes that can set me up for some major
100%.
disappointment. So I feel like even again, this pandemic, I had to switch a lot of things, but it really evolved. Doing live stream classes was, like you said, people need adults, especially. There's so much stress, there's so much pressure. The people are dealing with some psychological stuff, emotional stuff from all these things. And I'm really grateful for the memories that we've had these last 2 years in my live stream classes I call it on the virtual stage, because we danced through so much and we have those memories together now. I do it right out there, and I'm so grateful for that. And that I was able to, and they helped me, but that I was able to provide a safe space for people to let go and just find some sort of, just breathe, just for, if it's even for a minute. That's, I think that's worth it. So
yeah, I love that too, with the virtual game shows that I was doing, or team building events and stuff. You see the same thing. It's like, man, even just an hour of smiling and laughing and moving around is a big, needed break and stuff. But I don't think that's going to change. I feel like the pace of our culture and the technology and our jobs of sitting behind a computer for 8 hours, like if we don't find a way to like work in a dance class or play or go out and do something active and social with other people away from screens, then we're not going to be happy. We're not going to be fulfilled or find a sustainable balance in there. So that is awesome. Do you want to play a game?
Yeah, I'm nervous, but yes.
All right, I'm spinning the wheel. There are 10 games that it could land on.
I hear it.
You got awkward questions. Awkward questions is one of my favorites. These are basically like, would you rather, type of questions. So easy one for you. Well, actually, I take that back. I'm going to change it. I'm going to give you a hard one. Would you rather have a tail or horns for the rest of your life?
I would say a tail. Like immediately I did, because then I could, even dance wise, like you could use the tail. I can, like, I can see that happening. I'm moving my tail right now.
That's a good one. Have you ever yelled at a kid that wasn't your own, and why?
No, I don't think so. Strangely, I don't. Yeah, I don't deal with. I'm not. I teach adults.
Good for you. If you could send one celebrity to exile on a remote island, who would it be and why?
What do you mean? Would it like that? I'm just like, you get to go by yourself.
Yeah, you get your own private island. Yeah, we're sending you.
And do they have, is this like private island, like luxury? Sorry, I have questions.
No, you can go either way. I like the way you're going with it. I've had people, pick their favorite celebrity so that they know what island they're on and they can visit. But yeah, either way, I'll leave it.
I feel like I would want Beyonce to go, but like I'd want her to go just to go like here, like you're gonna have everything so you can go create. Give her that space.
There you go.
And then she's gonna come out with like even more magic. So she'd have to come back though. She's not exiled.
Yeah, not forever. All right, I like that. Okay, one more question. This is a fun one left over from our survey questions. But during a power failure, what is something you can still turn on?
What? Your heart. Your playfulness. I mean, hey, I think I want to take it back to playful humans. You can be playful. You turn off turn off everything.
Yourself, it did not make the top 5, but spouse is on there. I feel like we were both thinking that one. Flashlight is the number 1 answer. So thank you for playing. You nailed it.
Did I?
Yeah, free 30-second commercial. Where can we find you? What are you up to? Any asks or gives to our audience?
Yeah, I mean, you can find me at 567broadway.com. Social medias, 567Broadway, 567Broadway. If you have any questions, don't hesitate to reach out to me at 567broadway.com. And you can take live stream classes with me. I have a YouTube channel as well. And I just want to encourage you, when in doubt, dance it out. Just, and be playful and have fun. So
I love it. Thank you so much, Joseph, for being on the show today. Great conversation, great inspiration. And I love that you're role modeling it, that you're following your heart, you're doing what you love to do, and playing with it and not taking it too seriously, because it's tough. Sometimes the professionals that really do it right are working hard, and they're not any happier than people working an office job and selling insurance or something, right? So, go do it. Go play. If you want more information on Playful Humans, subscribe to this podcast anywhere you listen. Go to playfulhumans.com. There's a quiz you can take there, and you can find other cool people. Go check it out.
Don't wait for tomorrow.
Oh.
For today. Keep on chasing the sunshine and go out and play.
Go play, everybody.